This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Pope Francis was a man of compassion and love, especially for the poor.
Remembered for his healing, humility, and commitment to service, the Pope now being honored around the world. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Pope Francis has died at the age of 88. Mourners are gathering in Vatican City to pay tribute. The Vatican has confirmed the Pope died of a stroke and irreversible heart failure. Francis had been hospitalized earlier this year for a respiratory crisis that developed into double pneumonia. The Pope made his final public appearance before a packed crowd in St. Peter's Square on Easter Sunday. He'd visited with inmates at a prison in Rome as part of Holy Week events. The Argentine cleric, known for his concern for the poor and marginalized, was elected Pope in 2013. Pope Francis's death sets off 9 days of mourning, a tradition that dates back to Roman times. Pope Francis ushered in a more welcoming Catholic Church. In Canada, the pontiff may be remembered most for his historic apology. That came in 2022 to Indigenous victims of church-run residential schools. CBC's Rosanna Hempel has reaction to the Pope's death from here in Manitoba.
Por estar no más.
This Winnipeg musician says Pope Francis helped give her a career in music with a reference letter.
It was like a big change in my life. I owe him like an eternal debt of gratitude because of that.
Ana Lu knew the late pontiff as Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio in their native Argentina about 15 years ago while drowning in student debt and work at university. She says his generosity came through in the form of a reference letter. It led to a full scholarship to study classical composition.
Beautiful recommendation with his signature in pen at the very end, which was the tiniest handwriting you've ever seen, Jorge Bergoglio. And I, even then, he wasn't Pope, I thought like, wow, this is like an expression of how humble he is.
On Monday, Catholics mourned Pope Francis across the globe, including at Winnipeg's St. Boniface Cathedral.
For me, number one was his humility.
Pope Francis was a man of compassion.
Sister Monica Kachang met the late Pope during his visit to Edmonton in 2022.
Mi pedido de perdón.
She says the apology he gave to Indigenous peoples for residential schools was moving.
It was a powerful moment. For me, it was a grace-filled moment, a moment of, a big step, towards the ongoing work of reconciliation.
Indigenous Studies professor Nigan Sinclair says this historic apology and the Pope's other contributions to reconciliation won't be forgotten.
He is the first Pope to take a footstep in that direction. I think the Church is not ready for reconciliation in lots of different ways, but Pope Francis tried to move the Church in that direction.
Sinclair fears the Pope's successor will be more conservative and regressive. Ana Lu worries about that too.
The Catholic Church has such undeniable power in the world, and it can be, certainly has the power to be a great force for good. And I think Pope Francis was trying to do some good.
She hopes his legacy of promoting unity lives on. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg Jets fans are gearing up for Game 2 in their quest for the Stanley Cup. Many are still riding the wave of a big opening game victory Saturday, where the Jets came back to a 5-3 win against the Blues, and tonight they're hoping for another. CBC's Gavin Axelrod is down on Donald Street, where the Whiteout Party is underway. And Gavin, what are things like down there tonight?
Well, Brittany, we've returned to the scene of what might be the biggest party in Winnipeg so far this year. And of course, you got to say so far, because people behind me, they want to have an even bigger party if the Jets win the Stanley Cup this year. And as you can see behind me, there's tons of people dressed in white. The music is bumping, the energy is high. And tonight, they're looking to see the Jets win again. But the fans here, they're not the only ones who are hoping that the Jets will win tonight. The Winnipeg's business community, they also want to see the Jets have a deep playoff run this year. Gearing up for the playoffs, one piece of white clothing at a time. Winnipeg Jets merchandise is flying off the shelves at Royal Sports on Pembina Highway.
The past few weeks has been it's been flooded with a lot of stuff to be done, right? More people coming in for hats, more people coming in for merch, Jets jerseys to be done. So it's been a lot more than we've had in the past 2 years, I'd even say.
General Manager Mateus Aquino says the increased demand is because of Winnipeg's successful regular season. After a franchise record in wins, winning the Central Division and the President's Trophy, he says people are feeling good about the team's chances. And see that hat he's wearing? You won't even find it on the shelves there anymore.
This actual model sold out within the first hour that we put it on the floor.
At the heart of whiteout mania in downtown Winnipeg, businesses here stand to cash in on what could be a lengthy playoff run. Olivia Bilson with Downtown Winnipeg Biz says businesses in the area saw a 90% increase in sales on game day when the puck dropped on Winnipeg's playoff run in 2024.
We do know that, a playoff win is a win for our downtown businesses and our community, so we're absolutely hoping for a very long run this go-around.
Bougie Restaurant and Bar on Main Street is already reaping the benefits of this year's postseason. Owner Ahmed Sani says they did around 60% more sales during Game 1 Saturday than any regular season game.
There were so many walk-ins that came by. Our bar was full, our restaurant side was full as well. So compared to the regular Jets game, we don't get so many of walk-ins, so it was overwhelming and good.
And of course, you got to give the people what they want, and what the people want tonight is to see the Jets win, but they also want to see them go all the way and win the Stanley Cup in a couple months from now. Brittany.
All right, thank you, Gavin. That's CBC's Gavin Axelrod live on Donald Street tonight. Well, today is the last day advance polls are open. 2 million people voted on Friday alone, which is a record turnout. Elections Canada says it's up 36% from the first day of advance polling in the last election in 2021. In St. Vital, more than 100 lined up to vote Friday, with some waiting more than an hour, but many didn't seem to mind the wait.
This is a vital election for Canada, and I'm just thrilled to see the turnout this early in the morning. And no matter the result, people are giving their opinions, so I'm very proud of us.
I think just bringing some certainty, because the world is just such a crazy place right now, and there's just so much happening. We've been through a lot as a country.
Voters will need a piece of photo ID or something with their name and address on it, like a utility bill, when they go in to vote. And polls will be open until 9 p.m. Many Winnipeggers hit the links this weekend to take advantage of the nicer weather.
It's been pretty great so far. Play with friends, make jokes along the way, learning some new golf terms like usual, and it's been very fun.
Winnipeggers teed off for their first rounds of the season, along with some private courses. The 4 city-owned ones opened Saturday. Tee time reservations were in full swing leading up to the long weekend. CBC spoke to a few golfers who were excited to get out.
Just practicing, but it's pretty sweet out here. I was the only one here because it was cold when I started, but it was nice, yeah.
Spectacular. What a great spring for us to enjoy. And the course is spectacular, in great shape, mid-season form really. And I played a few holes 2 days ago, and I've enjoyed every moment out there.
Now for those city-owned courses, reservations can be made online by phoning the Course Pro Shop or through 9311, Spring rates will be offered on green fees at the Kildonan Park and Windsor Park courses until May 2nd. Well, Riley Lachuk in now. Riley, it looks like it's not just Jets fans ready for a whiteout, but Mother Nature seems to be ready for one too.
Mother Nature is ready to deliver a whiteout and maybe a halt to that early golf season for some in our province. I'll start with the snowfall warning that's in place for the Parkland region, up to 20 centimeters. And I don't mean everywhere in this area in white, but certainly around the Dauphin area, through the Riding Mountains, the Duck Mountains, you could see some enhanced snowfall accumulations over the next couple of days. We started to see the leading edge of some of that wet cloud cover. And out of some of this cloud cover, even a few stray sprinkles falling out of some of this. I know we did get a couple of brief showers early this morning in Winnipeg out of some of this cloud cover. But looking at our daytime highs from today, you wouldn't think I'd be talking about snowfall warnings when we're talking about 17 degrees in Winkler this afternoon. Winnipeg at 15, Dauphin at 12 degrees, Thompson at the freezing mark. We'll get some cloud building in as we get through the overnight hours. In Winnipeg, a few showers begin in the morning, and then we're looking at what I'll classify as a good soaking rain as we get through the afternoon hours. We'll talk about snowfall accumulations, some rainfall accumulations, and double-digit temperatures when I come back.
All right, well, it's a good night for a whiteout party.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
A contentious plan to help control the overpopulation of ground squirrels. The reaction from some groups who say it's not okay. Stay with us. The city of Winnipeg is planning to use sulfur gas to control ground squirrel populations on sports fields. The city says the animals' burrows are a safety concern, but some animal rights advocates say the way the critters will be killed is inhumane. Matt Humphrey has more.
What's a cozy burrow for some is a tripping hazard for others. 8 sports fields like Ferret Grove Park will soon see monthly sulfur gas treatments. The city says for safety reasons, the ground squirrel holes will be filled with sand after the animals are killed.
It's really about public safety from our perspective. I don't think we get any, joy out of undertaking these kinds of tasks.
David Domke manages the city's Parks and Open Space Division. It's been several years since the fields were treated, and the city says they'll be unusable this summer if nothing is done.
Those locations are really near athletic fields, in athletic fields, or around the boundaries of athletic fields and high use areas. So
the city has used carbon monoxide to kill the animals, but there were concerns over worker safety. Now the city will use a sulfur product called Giant Destroyer.
The understanding that we have of this method of pest control is that it is not instantaneous, that it can sometimes take up to an hour to actually result in death to the animal. So that's up to an hour of potential suffering, distress.
Krista Boriskavich is a lawyer with the Winnipeg Humane Society. She says non-lethal animal control methods are preferable and necessary death should be quick.
So there may be some other animals in those burrows that are the unintended targets of this method.
Winnipegger Michaela McNabb-Mary has mixed feelings.
I can understand it is becoming kind of a pest thing, but they're so cute and they're such a lovable critter, especially here to the Forks, to me, my family, we love them. We love seeing them. They bring us so much joy.
And Brad Nance understands how they could cause problems, but
when I see them taking a walk, I always call out and say, "Hey, brother squirrel, how you doing?" And they provide great entertainment.
The program is set to start May 20th. Matt Humphrey, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Exporters aren't the only Canadian businesses hit by the U.S. tariff onslaught. Firms that depend on made-in-the-USA products face the cost of Canada's retaliatory duties. The CBC's Anis Hadari reports.
So these tanks are our heaviest tariffed item, between $16,000 and $24,000 a week.
Tariffs already cost Derek Friesen big bucks. His company makes farm equipment in rural Manitoba.
So these are some of the fittings that we can only get in the U.S.
It requires American plastics, recently tariffed by Canada.
The shipment is $4,800, $1,800, $5,000.
He doesn't have a duty-free alternative yet.
Everything coming into Canada is what we've been paying tariffs on, and it caught us off guard a little bit with the extent of it.
It's meant suspending some shipments and maybe cutting profits to keep people employed. But now Ottawa has announced 6 months of relief from some tariffs, a move this customs broker says could help.
It will make a huge difference to some companies that import goods that are part of the health system, part of the food chain, manufacturing, when they're now going to be able to import U.S. products as long as it helps Canadian companies manufacture and resell.
That applies to Derek Friesen. He needs to import to manufacture in Canada.
Some of this product we can't get in Canada. Some of it Canada would have capability to manufacture it, but it would take probably a full year plus to develop tooling and processes to do it here. It's not something that you can switch very quick.
So a 6-month break from Ottawa might not cut it. After taking in that news, he's got mixed feelings.
Sort of excited, but a lot of skepticism. There is just no options for us that I can do faster than 14 to 18 months. So I don't know what's going to happen as we get closer to that date. I'm like, it's hard.
A welcome delay, but it's still a problem postponed. Anis Hadari, CBC News, Calgary.
Large black plumes of smoke took over the sky Sunday afternoon as a fire rushed through a field near businesses and a section of rail line. The blaze started on Sunday near Fermor Avenue in the rural municipality of Springfield. A business owner says he's lucky only one of his trailers burned. Arthur Benjamin owns Industrial Trailer Sales. He says the flames burned a large swath of land around his property as well, but says it could have been much worse.
It's not little. And lucky the wind is only like 30 kilometers. Like if they would add a 60-kilometer wind, the fire, any kind of fire is bad, especially when we make our livelihood with what we have for equipment.
Crews put out the fire, and he says the damages to his business were minor compared to other fires. The fire forced the closure of a stretch of Fermor, but the road reopened shortly after 7 last night. Well, you can see behind us, it is whiteout mania right now as those fans getting ready for 6:30 puck drop. Inside, those outside the whiteout party just waiting.
Oh yeah, everyone's waiting.
Yes.
Pins and needles.
Nice day to be outside for it, though.
Yeah, gorgeous weekend too for most of us across the province as well, even cracking 20 degrees for some, but a nice soaking rain coming. We'll talk about that. Let's just look back to yesterday first, though, and talk about that really warm Easter Sunday that we had. In Winnipeg, officially cracking the 20-degree mark throughout the day yesterday. The last time we hit the 20 degrees was October 20th of 2024. Here are some of the other numbers from across southern Manitoba that we had. 21 degrees in Morden. Gretna, actually the Canadian hotspot yesterday, just over 21 degrees as well. Almost 21 in Portage and 20 degrees in Carberry. So yes, a very gorgeous Sunday, bit of weather on the way. So we did see a bit of clearing late afternoon. As we get into the overnight hours, a little bit more cloud cover starts to build in, and then the leading edge of this low pressure system starts to make its way into the province as we get through the overnight hours into Tuesday morning. You can see this particular model giving us a few showers in Winnipeg through the overnight hours, but more of a steady rain and even some snow back to the west where we have some of those snowfall warnings in place. Right now, the rain snow line kind of here right through sort of Minnedosa along the Highway 16 corridor, anywhere north of there, particularly into those higher elevations around the Riding Mountains, west into Roblin Russell, looking at the greatest likelihood of seeing some snow as we get through Tuesday into Wednesday as this area of low pressure moves through. East of this into the Red River Valley, this is showers as we get through the day tomorrow. By the afternoon, we start to see some of that making its way in into a more steady rain into the evening hours, overnight into Wednesday morning. But this low pressure system wrapping back onto itself here and pushing a little bit more snow into the Riding Mountains as we get Wednesday. Start to see some of that tapering off, but yes, do expect into the early part of Wednesday we see a few scattered showers or some wet flurries back to the west. I'll show you snowfall projections with a bit of a caveat here. Through the Riding Mountains, yes, up to 20 centimeters possible, but this particular model is showing this 12 centimeters in Brandon, where it's more likely to be mostly a rain event. So that's a little bit misleading. Looking at the potential, though, for up to 30 millimeters of rain in the southwestern corner of the province, a part of the province that actually really needs the rain right now. So yes, a nice soaking rain coming to the west, even here to the Red River Valley, some pockets up to 15 millimeters possible by the time we're talking at this time on Wednesday evening. So temperatures overnight sticking around the freezing mark in southwestern Manitoba, +6 in Winnipeg, but you can see where that rain snow line is, -1 in Dauphin, -2 in Swan River, staying just above the freezing mark into Tuesday. 4 degrees of some rain in Brandon through the afternoon tomorrow. Brittany, we're looking at double digits as well into northwestern Ontario. I'll have more on your 7-day forecast when I come back.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
This is a live look at the whiteout party with just minutes to go before the Jets face off against the Blues for Game 2. We'll take you back straight away. Well, there's no shortage of superfans decked out in their best whites tonight ahead of the Winnipeg Jets game. The spring whiteout has fans from near and far, including one who traveled roughly 15,000 kilometers to be here. CBC's Gavin Axelrod is live tonight down at the street party where fans are packed in. Gavin?
Yeah, of course, Brittany, you can see there's tons of fans behind me, but one of them traveled all the way from Melbourne, Australia to be here. That's Rob Sala, and he also has this tune that he's cooked up that he hopes will catch on here in Winnipeg as the Jets go on in the playoffs.
We're from Winnipeg, we're never beaten till the final siren's gone. Like the Peggers of old, we're strong and we're bold. Oh, we're from Winnipeg, go Jets, go! Oh, we're from Winnipeg.
And I think as the playoffs go on, that song might become wildly popular here in Winnipeg, but we'll just have to wait and see. Brittany.
A lot of enthusiasm. Thank you, Gavin. That's CBC's Gavin Axelrod tonight.
All right, we won't let a little bit of rain dampen the enthusiasm, particularly as we get through the day on Tuesday. Here's your dog walking forecast. This is Stevie, all ready for Easter. Thank you, Shelley, for sending this picture in. You can keep sending yours to talkback@cbc.ca. So aiming for 10 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Southeast winds gusting up to 30 in the afternoon. So really not looking at much of an impact wind-wise, maybe a bit breezy here and there. But your 7-day forecast looks like this. So up to 10 millimeters of rain, I think a pretty safe bet in Winnipeg by the time we get into the day on Wednesday. 9 degrees for Thursday, maybe a few showers first thing in the morning, and then we're back into double digits. So 13 for Thursday, 16 for Friday, setting up to be another excellent weekend. Saturday looking at a mix of sun and clouds, 18 degrees and 14s and 15s as we get through Sunday and Monday of next week. So it's a pretty good looking spring forecast.
Back to double digits.
And you know what? The April showers bring May flowers.
Exactly. And hopefully some more.
Yes, exactly.
Hopefully we get a cup out of it.
Yeah.
You can see the fans behind us. Game 2 set to go in just a few minutes. You can watch that right here on CBC. So let's take you back down there as we head out from the show. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
See ya.